Good.
Nā ku te roro, nā te roro, ka ora ai te iwi. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou ka ora. I te mea tuatahi he mihi tēnei. I ngā rangatira o te tino kaupapa nei, e rere ana te mihi tai ori ori ki a koutou. Ko koutou, ngā pau I roto I te ao imana. I ngā ringawira o DIGIWananga, me mihi ka tika. He tangata ihu one ki te mahi nei. Kei te mihi, kei te mihi. I ngā ākonga hauhare, he manawa titi koutou ki tēnei koutou. Kia kaha, kia māia, kia manawa nui. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.
So what is WA? WA is an app that creates digital communities where people exchange services for time.
Cast your minds back to a traditional Māori society where the economics of everyday life were embedded within whānau, hapu and iwi. A hapu was a self-sufficient economic unit that was fully autonomous over their whenua, moana and ngahere within their own boundaries. Each member of the hapu did the mahi that was best suited to them for the betterment of the hapu or iwi. This, or te taiao, this understanding of the Māori way of life is the beginning of our idea of wā.
Right, let me paint a picture for you using several different examples of how wā can work in different capacities. Example number 1. Holder is a plumber and a member on wā. His marai's kitchen facilities are in need of an upgrade. The marae creates a listing on wā, seeking 5 hours of plumbing work to be done. Holder is happy to lend a hand, and once the job is complete, Holder receives 5 hours credited to his wā account. Later down the track, Holder decides to create his own plumbing business and requires a logo. So he creates a listing on his marai's private community. Makaire is a graphic designer and with the skills to help. It takes 5 hours to complete the logo, and so therefore 5 hours is removed from Holder's account and added to Makaire's account. Example number 2. Pa Hensi is a leader of a church in Monaghan. There are a wide variety of jobs that the church desperately needs to be done. Struggling to motivate and organise his community, Pa registers the church on wā thinking it may help. Members of the church join the community on wā and can clearly see the jobs that need doing. Wā helps to create incentive for these members as they can earn wā hours in exchange for their service. This means that more people are willing to lend time to their communities. And example number 3. Sophie has recently moved to Wellington and has heard about wā through social media. Sophie thought that the idea of wā was a perfect way to grow her network and gain working experience. Sophie has no groups or communities that she's currently actively involved in. However, upon signing up to wā, Sophie is automatically added to an open community based on where she lives. Immediately, she can see a bunch of listings from people that live in her local area.
So how will this roll out? So first of all, we're going to call upon our local communities and our personal communities to help develop the app. People who contribute will be given wā or time when the app is released. This is an excellent way for the it's an excellent way for them to help with their communities right now. Our team have done a market validation survey and we've surveyed 19 people. 100% of them said if we created wā, they would join. 13 of the users said that they would create their own communities, and 5 said they would pay between $10 to $30 to use the app. Our development team includes Patrick, who is a graphic designer, and myself, who is an information technology student. I would love, as a student, to take on a project to develop an app. So first of all, we're going to target influencers in the communities to invite their friends and whānau to make communities. Secondly, we'll target communities such as iwi, who are already established. We imagine the app's growth like a tree, where you have your influencers and your communities as the branches, and your users as the leaves. Thirdly, we'll make an open community. For the people who are not part of an already established community, they can still join the app.
So how does WA work? We will have 2 layers of communities. The first layer will be private communities that are either invite only or visible for people to request permission to join. The second layer will be open communities that all users are a part of. We will use a skill and endorsement system similar to LinkedIn so that people can be assured of a quality standard of service in their time swapping. Within private communities, the creator will automatically become a moderator. More moderators can be nominated and they will earn hours for their time spent moderating their communities. The blockchain will be used to protect hours as a cryptocurrency. This will guarantee the authenticity and integrity of hours. Premium user communities will also be able to join in with other communities to collaborate on projects that will require skills and time from outside of their community.
So how are we going to make WA a business? So to monetize the app, first of all, we're going to allow users and communities to become premium members. So the premium communities will have the option to have multiple listings as well as have their listings viewed nationwide, which gives them a wide range of users and skills. Also, as Ataria mentioned, they'll be able to have cross-community work done. Our premium users will be able to have multiple listings as well as hold more hours. We're going to allow businesses and communities to sponsor their community. This will mean that they pay money and they can get, they exchange for targeted ads in their community. Third, we'll have in-app purchases, which allow users to get more hours if they need it. Lastly, for the non-premium users, we'll have ads in their app. This will allow them to stay free.
So, who are our competitors and what are the alternative options to WA? One obvious alternative is cash-based exchange systems such as TaskRabbit and Upwork. These facilitate the exchange of services for money. However, they are dependent on the friction of money, that is, those who have no money are unable to participate. Facebook is another alternative that is used for volunteering. However, WA creates a marketplace with a time swap of volunteer hours that creates an incentive for those hours to be used more efficiently. Time Republic is a time-sharing marketplace for services available in some European countries and New York. It is an open marketplace. There are no communities. We believe WA has an advantage due to its community focus. That is, each community actually has an interest in promoting and organically growing their own community. Community Weaver is an open source software for time banking. Individual entities can use the software for private communities. However, there is no ability for users to access an open community or cross-community partnerships. Users who are not already existing members are unable to join.
So as I mentioned before, we are going to use our own communities to help develop the app. This means that the development side will not cost much and the main cost will be the bandwidth used when releasing the app. So I've created a basic break-even formula to help us visualize what the break-even point is going to look like. We've estimated it's going to cost roughly $10,000 to get the project set up and $5,000 over 6 months as an overhead cost. We estimate that the premium users will be $9.99 and that the ads will give us about 10 cents per view. This formula tells us that we need 24,000 non-premium users as well as 1,260 premium users. This estimates that 1 in 20 users will eventually become premium. This is also not including the in-app purchases and sponsorships that will make our break-even point more of a reality. Our team is dedicated to making this app a reality and we will fund the app through Bootstrap.
So, what is the impact of WA? The local impact is that it enables communities to determine the diverse skills of their members and harness them to achieve their goals.
The reason why we think economically is because it is more efficient and those without money can still participate, which creates a more inclusive economic system.
The social impact of WA will help to connect people, revitalise existing communities, and help to create entirely new communities.
Across Aotearoa, there are maunga, awa and whenua that need to be cared for. An example is Te Awa o Wanganui, where I live. Rather than waiting for local government for funding, we could use WA time to unite our community and tiaki the awa and across the motu using the power of time.
WA brings in all of those who are currently excluded from our economic system and tells them that you and your time are valuable for our communities. As our mentor, Bill Brightcard, said yesterday, this is a deeply powerful idea. that has the potential to go global, right from here in Aotearoa to Te Ao.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou.
Great idea. How much testing of this have you done out in the actual with those people who are possibly disconnected from the workforce or labour force at the moment?
Yep, so what we've done a market validation survey of 19 people in our networks, as we mentioned. We haven't done any further testing than that at this point in time.
Was that 19 or 19?
19, that was 19.
One
Yeah.
line.
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
Yeah, just another question. Are there any kind of regulatory constraints around how you get people doing trade without any money
Yeah.
passing
So-
hands, but then or if there is, then what is the tax? Kind of
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So first of all, because it is kind of like a huge paradigm shift from our current economic model, currently in our accounting and law, it's not, the government won't have proper provisions in place for these kind of communities. There is already time swapping happening across New Zealand. There are actually time banking communities. There's one in Raglan. So these are already happening, and they don't have to pay tax for what they're doing currently. In terms of our project, we would need to clarify with the IRD. Because at this stage, because there's no compensation received, we believe they're not classed as employees. Volunteers are excluded from employment law, but we would obviously need to consult with an employment law lawyer to consider any agreements that we might have to have in a sign-up where they say they opt out as an employee or something.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's good answer. Just another question. How are you going to connect with the people that need to be on the other side to find work and stuff?
So you mean unemployed and underutilised people?
Excuse me, I'm having a coffee.
So social media we think would be a really good way to connect. We would probably need to target and talk to people who are working with those communities to get them to promote our app to their members. So perhaps it could be a discussion with Working Income New Zealand or iwi as well, who know what members of theirs are unemployed and underutilised, because it's not just unemployed, it's actually people who don't have as much work as they would like, part-time.
Just a bit like Uber, I guess, when if you've got Sunday off, you want to plug your phone in and jump online, you've got your cars available, away you go.
Yeah.
Okay, no, thank you for that. That's cool.
I was just going to ask her, the share economy is obviously here, there's a bunch of stuff now, which is great. Quick question. The buy-in, you see it more on a small localised sort of level and like sort of pockets and hubs, because I imagine if you get bigger, like I imagine a painter's time would be deemed different to a lawyer's time, which is different like in terms of skill sets, right? And then the new tally coming back was, my time's worth 10 times as much. I mean, just how do you get through that sort of side of things? So obviously it's a psyche thing, that's why I was just asking if it's more localised and community driven, where it's about that instead of them saying, I'll just go do work for 3 hours, make a couple $100 and just pay someone and actually make $250 back. You know what I mean? Like, just for scalability with how they think about that, just keen on your 2 cents around that.
We had, there was an idea suggested that we could, when people sign up, they actually do an hour to contribute to the community before they, as part of their verification process, which could kind of change their mindset, and that it's about giving rather than just, I guess, reciprocation. In terms of the different time hours, we, like with the traditional hapu iwi model, people by korero could be potentially have been seen as more skilled, but their hours were all worth, their time was still worth the same. So we think going forward we would continue that model, but I do actually believe that that is scalable. I think that there are a lot of people who believe that perhaps the way things are happening in our world is unfair, with CEOs earning 1,000 times more than their employees. So I do think that actually that is scalable among a lot of people.
I think like from all of us too, we see a bit of a paradigm shift from, if you think about like a lawyer being paid more than a painter, that's our current economic system where we do want to move away from that. So but ours being the currency, so to speak, 1 hour would be, we've discussed it, well, what about if 10 hours would be worth this? And But I think we keep coming back to the idea that that is sort of underpinning in a capitalist sort of.
Do you think that curates the society by itself?
What do you mean by that?
Like it's almost going to be the filter for if people want to be in or not, if they know it's not about currency but about time, right?
Yes,
so it's almost
exactly
like,
right.
and to your point of the 1 hour kind of proves the thesis today.
Yeah.
It's just about making a community, not earning money.
Yeah.
What would the difference between that and say the Raylan pop-up thing be?
Well, this one is, I think, a lot bigger because that's just a tiny private community where no one else has access. But see, our one, well, people could be part of 10 communities, so we just have all these different branches, so it's just so much bigger, I think. You can have a New Zealand community, Wellington community, be part of your church, and they're all interlinked. And if you put out a listing, that could go on either just a private community or across multiple, or across all of New Zealand. So.
But design they can do remotely, but
Yes.
doing the hedges they have to be
Of course.
right?
Would be like,
Get a train.
I think the other thing we sort of talked about as well is that, like, for Māori who are not living in their, Sudan or Waiwai, the place, where their marae is and their people, they can be a part of the community too, even though they're not geographically located where their people are. So you could do research, you could do design work, you could do Skype tutoring, the opportunity, it's endless, and you can actually give back to that community even though you may not geographically live there.
So I'm wondering then, and my other question around have you connected into people who would be on the other end, the end users of this, and it's discorded or now becomes, would it be good to see that in the presentation, to see what's underpinning this, what's the principles and philosophies that drives the business model, and then how is that going to actually have an impact? And so it's coming out now, and it's awesome. I think that you can start to see then the sorts of end users that would start. 24,000 is a lot of people.
Yeah.
It takes up time, right? So how do you create the drivers that are going to get people engaging with us, and for what reason? So I've gone in my head from saying, I need to understand who these underutilised, or I've kind of made a shift from unemployed to underutilised to say, well, actually, I do have a bit of time, and I've got something I need someone to help me with, and as a consequence, then I can help them with, whatever I can.
Yeah, I think of the statistics from the top of my head, it was at least over 100,000 people unemployed and 551,000 underutilised in New Zealand. Majority of Māori, youth, and women.
So again, just those are the numbers we need to see in the presentation, right? So we know that what are we actually dealing with, who are we talking about, how does this model work and flow? So it's a great idea, and it was a great presentation, but now we're getting down to the real nuts and bolts of what makes this work or not.
Yeah, we wanted to elaborate past the original pitch idea that we said we wanted to kind of go beyond that and more how we would roll it out, but
Cool. No, it's good. It's great. It was a great presentation. And the Mickey's awesome. And the last thing, I think we're being acknowledged. And,
I love it, totally love it. We're totally signed up for it. And I really like that there's closed and open communities within it. And I think you talked about you can have cross-community partnerships where it's not just individuals, but actually communities, different, whether it's in like location-based or area or whatever, able to help each other. It's cool. And on my head, just keep kind of wonder if you could apply it then to aspects of our environment where, say, a Monaghan has its own account, and as people take the time, spend time there, they then have to contribute in terms of sustainability, just bring it in. The only question I can think of to ask you is, what do you think your biggest challenge is? The hardest thing ahead?
Well, yeah, I think the financial side of it, where Bill really helped us figure out that actually the app can sort of build itself in a way. So we were like, wow, okay, well that was something that we didn't feel like we had to freak out about so much as maybe the actual getting people to sign up. Is that what you're thinking? What do you guys think was the biggest challenge?
Yeah, I've always had a shift in mindset from someone saying, well, why don't I just go do a job and earn money, as opposed to spending hours helping out with their community, into a community group to help clean rivers and pick up rubbish and jobs that maybe they don't know that and they can swap on everything. So.
Are you comfortable that the same thesis would be relevant for 19 users that if you did the same thing to 500 different people, do you think that would, like, are you fully comfortable on the 19 stands out as,
Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
a
it's very
position.
good. Yeah,
It was pretty-
It was a prep for this, really.
We just put the call out, but we would definitely do
Yeah,
the
I
larger
would
call
say.
people.
I'm a school teacher. That's what I do is my full-time job, and I teach my kids every year about what groups they belong to. That's at least something that we do, and we teach the kids about that. So I think that
And you've had conversations with other kai taught from schools and they seem really positive.
I think that my point is that I would be confident that we would get the buy-in.
Kia ora team. You're definitely part of the sharing economy and the sharing economy is all disruptive and all that. But it's really interesting that you brought up blockchain and Bitcoin. And I think blockchain would probably be able to solve some of the problems there through smart contracts and different transactions that can happen through the blockchain anyway. And of course using Bitcoin on blockchain. You would. So it will just be interesting to hear how you'd implement that. How would you implement the blockchain Bitcoin into what you're doing now? If you've thought about that. And
So we wouldn't obviously use Bitcoin because we're using the hours as the currency. The blockchain would be an underlying ledger which would give the hours authenticity. Because one of the main problems was we thought, well, what happens if someone makes their own community and they just give themselves 1,000 hours? So they actually, the blockchain would allow them to, all the hours to be authentic. So they have to come from somewhere because you have an amount of hours that you allow. So the hours actually have to come from somewhere. So if you use the blockchain, then you can guarantee the authenticity that the hours that are being spent on on someone else who you don't know actually came from you to the job for someone else.
did you say you weren't looking at using Bitcoin, or you are?
No, because Bitcoin is a currency, it's the currency of the hours.
I mean, you're saying that you can use Bitcoin, then translate it into the app as hours. Do you know what I mean? Is that
Is that what you're
It
saying?
could be.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's something we haven't,
So it will be quite interesting. Actually, well, might take your project of course a wee bit, but it could mean that you get more participation on what you're doing because people are actually able to earn e-currency. And and it's not money, and the government, well, as far as I know, governments all around the world haven't figured out how to tax e-coin yet. They don't know what to do with it, it's disrupting everything, and so they're kind of scrambling around trying to figure it out. So I mean, it could be an area to look at. I just wanted to see how far it looked into that.
So you sort of suggested that you could trade hours for Bitcoin.
Sorry?
He's suggesting that you could trade hours on your account for Bitcoin.
Well, it's sort of like, you could make it like that.
Yeah.
Now, there's probably a couple of ways you could work it. But it just, I guess what it would mean is a slight change in your model. You know, you go from time and swapping time currency to an actual currency. Even though it's not money as we know it, it's still almost currency.
Still
I mean, that could be a future thought.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you say that the governments haven't managed to be able to come and look at how to tax Bitcoin, because I was actually thinking about this as well. If perhaps, say, the government did try and encompass time swapping, and somehow, I don't know how they would tax it, but then I thought that, because that's that diverse economy, where there's all these things that are happening in our economy that no one's looking at, so that would almost be good, because it would make them, they would have to work out that mothers, the actual economic benefit brought by all these things that are currently excluded. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they tried to do that.
Well, the hardest thing about eCoin is that nobody owns it and everybody owns it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not any government, it's not anybody's, but it's everybody's.
Yeah.
It's decentralized, just like blockchain. Nobody owns that either, but everyone